everybody, welcome to ShareCast episode 1. My name is William Cornwall, I'm a technical specialist with Microsoft Australia.
And I'm Rita and I'm with Empower, and I think you'll find during the ShareCast that I am SharePoint obsessed, but I hope you enjoy the obsession.
So there's lots of news about SharePoint, lots of things to see about SharePoint on the web, lots of information videos, blog posts and even Twitter feeds that you can follow. So what we're going to do over the next few episodes is try and bring a lot of that information together into one local area so that you don't have to go and hunt for it all.
And give you a bit of commentary around it so you know what you're looking at. Try and reduce the time it takes to find this stuff. So lots of exciting stuff has been happening lately. Tell us a bit about what's been happening to you.
Well, on the weekend, Saturday morning, I woke up to find out that SharePoint and the whole Office family had released a manufacturer, which is what we call RTM, which is great news, which means that customers are just a few days away from being able to get the actual installation bits for use in production, which is going to be fantastic.
And I noticed it on Twitter, so if you want to register, follow Share the Point, you'll also pick up all the latest stuff that's going on there. There were some great US-based articles around, what it meant, the RTM meant to people, and the fact that anyone who had software assurance could download it. So I can imagine you're going to be going there, downloading it, installing it. That's
right, from about April the 27th, in fact. So that's all good news. But what we'll do is we'll get started. I know Rita's got some great information around some videos and some websites that she's been trawling around the web. So I'm going to hand over to you, Rita. Tell us a bit about a couple of resources that you found recently and a little bit more about that.
Okay, what have I been finding on the internet that relates to SharePoint and my passion for 2010? Let me tell you, one of the first places I went to was YouTube, and there was a great video there called SharePoint Composites, or composites, or composites, or anything you want to call it. But it was basically a great video. It's beautiful tones on the back. It's presented by a lady, and talks about how SharePoint's really opening up the ability for end users to create whatever they like, ranging from team sites, portals, analysis, solutions using these no-code components, and how it really helps break that barrier of empowerment versus control that the IT department has. So have fun with that one. The other one that I found was SharePoint in plain English. Now this is really beautiful. It's beautifully done with regards to the way they've cut out the images of the users of SharePoint, and takes you on a journey and shows you the difference between your life at work with SharePoint versus your life at work without SharePoint. And it's quite amazing what a difference it is, and it kind of shows you how complicated life can get when you start sending emails and versions and all the different issues around not having control the way your documents are managed. So enjoy that one. It was really very nice. The other one I really liked was an article I found on endusersharepoint.com. And this is a great story about SharePoint and the way it's becoming much better at being an enterprise content management system, and it is so powerful that it may enter the realm of being a disruptor, as in it will have such an impact on the way we do our business that it will actually change the way we do business. And it's got some really good references to it in it about how the gentleman that used that created wikis used to work at Microsoft, and how a lot of different components have been brought into the new version of SharePoint 2010 to make it as full as it is at the moment. I also really enjoyed going to Paul Swidler's joke site. So if you thought that SharePoint wasn't funny, this is the place to go. My favourite one is SharePoint works every day to make the brain obsolete, and I'm sure you'll find your own favourites in there. And finally, the website that I think you will find the place to go to find out all kinds of different stuff is the SharePoint user group, thesug.org. It's actually built in SharePoint 2010 and has great references to a whole range of different crazy people making videos. But there's a really good one about SharePoint governance, don't get stung, and the guy's actually in a bees, like an aviary suit to protect him from bees, and he's he's gone to visit a bee hive. So, but enjoy that one because it's a very impactful presentation. So, Will, we were talking about RTM, which stands for Release to Manufacture. What does that mean to people who want to download SharePoint, and when can they get it and all that kind of stuff?
Well, as I mentioned before, Rita, the 27th of April is a significant date, but it's not the only significant date. So let's go through and have a look at some of these dates. So Microsoft Developer Social Network, so MSDN, is basically a site where you can download products for use in development and testing environments. And SharePoint and Office will be available on the MSDN from the 22nd of April, which is great for people that want to get a heads up on development environments and get that going. From the 27th of April, our enterprise agreement customers that have software assurance with Microsoft, they'll be able to access the RTM components from the volume licensing site from the 27th of April. Now, beyond that, customers that don't have software assurance but have an enterprise agreement with us will be able to purchase and buy SharePoint and Office 2010, as well as Visio and Project 2010 from the 1st of May.
I noticed that there's really good academic pricing as well available to people if they want to buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. So academic pricing for those that are eligible for that, there's a reduced cost price for those sorts of engagements as well. And then even beyond that, Office will be available in commercial retail stores like Harvey Norman and Retrovision and those sorts of places in June. So some exciting few weeks and few months ahead.
So, Will, now that SharePoint is launched, it's really interesting. Is Microsoft running SharePoint 2010?
Good question, Rita. We have been running SharePoint for about 8 months. We basically adopt all of our technologies really early in the piece. We've been running SharePoint in our production environment since about Beta 1.
Does that mean there's people out there on this floor that actually are using SharePoint 2010 and can tell us a little bit about what's going on with it?
Yeah, look, that's a great idea. Let's go out and ask some people at Microsoft what they think is their best feature in SharePoint 2010. So, what's your favourite feature of SharePoint 2010?
When you put in a search term, you get thousands of results back. Being able to refine that down to the 2 or 3 or the handful of documents or items that you're looking for, using those search refiners on the left-hand side is really cool.
My favourite feature of SharePoint 2010 would have to be Visio services. I use Visio extensively throughout my day, and now I can share my diagrams across the whole organisation.
Hi, my favourite feature for SharePoint 2010 is the new integrated search connector. With that, it helps me to search sites like MSW from the desktop using desktop search and the search connector that's easily added. This is an improvement over the way that search connectors have been previously built and joined into the operating system. For me as a Windows 7 user, I can now use this search feature from my desktop in Explorer and help me find files much more easily than before using the search connector that's integrated in SharePoint 2010.
So what's my favourite feature of SharePoint 2010? I think it's the search facility and the access to people. In my job, it's really important to get to the experts really quickly, and using the people search facility in 2010 allows me to get to the experts very, very fast. I can circumvent a lot of processes, I can get to what I need very quickly, I can save myself a lot of time.
My favourite feature about SharePoint 2010 is that it makes my sites look like Facebook. And if you see my Facebook, I love my site because it's really cool and it includes social networking in the enterprise.
I love it how I can share my OneNote notes in SharePoint.
I love the way I can create documents in PowerPoint, put them up on a SharePoint, send someone a link, and they can open it in their browser. Fast, effective, love it.
How did you go, Will? What happened?
Well, there was some great comments about how people inside Microsoft are using SharePoint 2010. Especially love that one about being able to find things a lot quicker with this new search capabilities, with the refiners and those sorts of things. So that's really, really cool.
I couldn't believe I saw someone trying to search for SharePoint presentations, and there was like 72,000, but it was just really good how they could easily refine it using all these different search field areas. So that search is cool.
Search is great. So that's it for ShareCast episode 1. I hope you've enjoyed it, and over the next few weeks we'll be bringing you episode 2 and 3. Next episode we'll be interviewing one of our customers or partners that actually has a SharePoint 2010 site going to go live. So stay tuned for that one.
See you then.
Bye.